All right, let's move on to the Los Angeles Chargers. I feel like before we get into that, they fired their GM, Tom Telesco. They fired Brandon Staley after a 5-9 start. To me, I feel like they are the prime candidate for Jim Harbaugh just because, you know, that's what I keep seeing. I keep seeing a ton of sources say that like they are primed to make like a full go at Jim Harbaugh. And they have a GM opening. I could see them giving him the reins to take that GM role. And also something that they have the quarterback in place. They have the most important position. But I will say this. If you look at it from a cap perspective and like kind of the talent on the team, there's a lot of things that need to happen.
That's why, like, and we were even saying going into this year, that's kind of like why it was so hard, and it still is, to be like very big on their long-term future. Like, it has nothing to do with Herbert. He's where he is, and he can't. I mean, what is he going to do? Not sign the contract? He had to. I mean, like, he has to be in this position. It was the only thing that made sense. But like everything around Herbert, not everything, but a lot of things around Herbert right now, it's kind of like, you don't really, let's be honest. Do you feel great about it? No. It's
No.
like, it's serviceable. But we see it's serviceable with him there. But you take him out of the equation and the Chargers are what the Chargers are. Mediocre team. So they got to the Chargers are one of the teams that have the most work to do this offseason. I do think, though, honestly, to your point, I think the best case scenario for them is definitely getting Harbaugh to come in and be the GM and head coach. You're nailing two birds with one stone. You're giving the man control again. And you kind of, like, as we've seen, the Chargers are kind of lacking a vision. Like, give the artist here the pen and the easel and let him just go to work, right? Give him the vision.
I also think, too, it's just like, I don't really like, the Chargers really don't have an identity.
Oh, yeah, no, they're definitely stuck in identity, especially now that Eckler is a shadow of his former self, unfortunately.
And I just feel like they need to bring in someone who will almost like guarantee them a culture. And I feel like that's what you get with Harbaugh. Like, you know, he's going to establish like stability and culture within your team. So I feel like the Chargers they're interviewing everybody, but I just don't see a scenario where, like, obviously there's definitely scenarios where Harbaugh can go elsewhere. He may not like the situation, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like this team outside of Washington will be the hardest team. Like, they're going to make the biggest push for Harbaugh, because if we go to over the cap, I believe that let's see, next year they are about $35 million over the cap. So we've seen teams do a lot, but that's a lot of money.
Well, again, even then, like, I'll speak from the Saints' perspective that does it every year. Like, just because you push that number back, it doesn't really mean good things for the future. No. I'm in the territory now telling you guys as a Saints fan, the day of reckoning has to come where you got to realize what you were doing. And if all you're doing is pushing back, in the Chargers case, in my opinion, they're in the same thing as the Saints right now, where it's what's going to come is inevitable. Like, you're going to have to find new talent sooner or later in certain positions. It's like, why not just do it now instead of pushing off the future? Like, just shell out the cap now. And it's going to, for Chargers fans, some of the guys are going to have to say goodbye to who's going to hurt. Again, everyone who's been in these situations knows the feeling. But, like, you will thank the ownership group long term, as much as it hurts to say goodbye, bye to some of the guys in the moment. It has to happen when you make these mistakes with the contract and the coaching staff. It is what it is. The vision didn't line up to what the window was, and so now you have to cut the losses. I mean, that's just the only way I see it.